And now let's just talk about that suicide blast that took place in Kabul, in which 40 police officials are dead. This attack took place outside Kabul. Taliban has now claimed responsibility on the attack that took place on a police convoy in Kabul. The suicide bomber targeted the bus that was carrying the police personnel from Wardak province to Kabul. Okay, so that's the news about that suicide blast. In fact, just very recently, there was another blast that took place in which 2 Indians had even lost their lives. And in fact, more than 10 guards from Nepal who were guarding the Canadian embassy even lost their lives in another suicide blast that took place in Kabul. Even in that blast, the Taliban had claimed responsibility. And once again, we're seeing that 40 police officials have been killed in this latest suicide blast that is being reported now. It took place on a convoy that was carrying the police from Wardak province to Kabul. Let's get in some more information from Zubair Babar Khali, who joins us now. Zubair, thanks so much for speaking to us. Can you give us more details about the suicide blast?
You're most welcome. Yeah, of course, as you said, there was a convoy of newly graduated police that were taking these graduates and they were targeted on the road between Kabul and Maidan Wardak province. And initial reports suggests that there were more than 40 people killed, 40 newly police graduates killed. And there is a fear that the casualties might increase much more.
Zubair, there seems that, there seems to be a change as far as the attack is concerned, because for a long time, foreign nationals or, the embassies were targets. But now we're getting to hear about 40 policemen being the target of the Taliban.
Yeah, there are 2 reasons for this. The first thing is that while there was a big presence of the foreign forces in Afghanistan between 2013, mainly the foreign forces would get targeted. And as the withdrawal happened, and there is now a less number of NATO and American forces in Afghanistan, the main target is the Afghan security forces now, the Afghan National Police and Afghan Army and Border Police. So that's the first reason. And the second is that recently the Afghan government has executed 6 Taliban prisoners who were convicted to death sentence.
Okay.
And after that, the Taliban has warned that they will, in a revenge, they will increase their attacks. And that is why they not only targeted the police and the Afghan army convoys, but as well as the vehicles that were carrying judges or attorneys.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Zubair, stay with us. We also have with us India Today, Smita Sharma. Smita, we have seen how foreign security guards have been targeted in the past. Embassies have been targeted as well. But now we are seeing, a change in tactic there. The, cops and even the Afghan army being targeted by the Taliban.
Well, this is something that has happened in the past too. Clearly, the retaliation much more stronger at a time when those operations against, in fact, Taliban, especially Afghanistan, we have had, the kind of operations where, according to reports, at least 70 to 73 Talibani insurgents have been killed. They have been neutralized, and which is why perhaps within hours we see the Taliban trying to strike back with that message that we are still alive and kicking. And, this convoy which was on the move from Wardak to Kabul, these had newly, in fact, trained police officers, newly recruited Afghan police officers, because eventually in this region, while we still see the American troop presence, we see the NATO troop presence, at the end of the day, security will be passed on to the Afghan nationals themselves.
Yes.
And that's why this message of trying to hit them where it hurts.
Absolutely. Very tragic bit of news coming in about how these cops have lost their life. They were newly trained police force and have lost their lives in that suicide blast carried out by the Taliban. Zubair and Smita, thanks so much for joining us.